It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Richard Coleman and John Wooten will be doing battle here in our first match on Duckpin Magic. Of course, we saw Richard defeat Bob Subak in our last match of last week's show.
Pretty convincing last week. The score not extremely high when you figure the handicap.
Got off to that quick start and then sort of held on and had enough to beat Bob Subak, and especially I think it was late too. I had a couple of marks which clinched the win for him.
When he threw the ball well, it was
slid by the 7-pin there.
Tough pin for a left-hander. Richard bowling for 15 years.
So we get our first look on this edition of Duckpin Magic of John Wooten. 225 high game, 520 high series. He's an electronic technician out of Baltimore, Maryland. ADT champion in the past. I'll let you handle the next line.
Said he was going to win this and take a vacation.
No, not
He
that
broke
line. The other
9
one.
and left 10. Wait a minute now. He says his favorite duckpin bowling memory was the first time meeting Joe Rainier on TV when I won the ADT championship. And I think he's referring to winning the ADT championship, but, you know, he was in a hurry.
How much did you have to cajole him into putting your name in there?
I don't even know. It's just blank check.
Now John is taking on Richard Coleman here. Oh.
The old pick. 6 off the 10. 7 pins difference in handicap. John Wooten, 133 average and 29 handicap. Richard Coleman, senior, 142 and a 22 handicap.
We add that in the first frame so that if you're unfamiliar with what we've been doing with the Coors Light Duckpin Classic, we've been putting that in the first frame. So if you see an extraordinarily high first frame score, that's why.
It is very difficult to get 38 in the first frame without the handicap.
Although the score has been kept by our able scorekeeper Frank Ferry, who knows what can end up in a frame somewhere.
You say how much you want.
Easy enough guy to get along with.
Yeah. Pick a number.
So John breaks 7 here, and we'll have an opportunity to pick up the mark.
Shooting the 1-2-4, frame 2, looking for the first mark of the game.
Several weeks ago, we crowned Cindy Carroll of Falls Church, Virginia, as the ladies' champion of the Coors Light Classic. Looking for a men's champion now, and right now there are 7 men finalists left.
Yes, and she really did something that is often spoke of as being difficult to do, and that's winning from the top position. She was a high qualifier, bowled her 1 game, collected her $3,000, and headed for Falls Church. I think she forgot the check. She wanted the trophy.
No, I don't think so.
You don't think she did?
I asked her if you could hold the checks for her. She said, you can hold the trophy.
That's because it was big and heavy.
Yeah.
It was about half her size, you know. You go through the middle once again, 2, 3, and 10 remaining.
Richard Coleman shooting for the mark. Oh.
Slipped it right around. Now he has the 2 and the 10. To this point, we get each bowler's through 2 frames, 40-48. Richard, frame 3. We're going to get a mark. Coming up.
As part of our preparation for the show, we were in the back looking at the machines and what they do during qualifying. It's really a fascinating system as to how the pins come in, the balls get separated, the pins go up and go seated so they can be reset.
Mike, you know, the fascinating part, these machines are 35 to 40 years, well, actually, about 38 years old. Original machine, absolutely no reason. You can change parts, bearings, those type of things. It's an old mechanical type machine and very efficient.
Richard made sure that that single didn't get away. He really bounced it off the back rubber and has to do a little house cleaning, and John Wooten will step in. John will be bowling in the third, looking for his first mark.
An 8-pin lead, trying to protect it.
He's got that unusual style. The first step very slow, and then the ensuing steps get very quick up to the line.
Well, he's big and strong, and if he gets there a little quick, he can still pull the ball through. So you really, you saw him sort of flexing his arm, and he was telling himself, keep the elbow in. You just, his style has a tendency to get the flying elbow. You get your hand outside the ball.
Let's take a look at it as he approaches the line. On the target that time. We can take a look at John Wooten again in slow motion. Does everything right there and picks up the mark, his first of the match.
Nothing wrong with this style. It's just very difficult for him to get, it happens so quickly. There's 1, 2, 3. He goes a long way with the slide step. If you notice how much approach he has left when he goes into his third and final step, which is his slide, he covers a lot of distance with that last step. And you tend to lose your balance a little bit when that happens.
And will that cause him to vary his delivery at the line? I mean,
well,
he doesn't have much margin for error then.
Exactly. Your timing has to be pretty good because the ball has to come out, at a certain time. Otherwise, you're going to be off balance, and it's sort of a guided ball. But he's big and strong enough that, he guides a lot of balls and gets away with it.
Richard Coleman trying to put back-to-back wins together and his climb up the ladder. Mike Arena waiting for the winner of this match, number 5 seed.
If you look in contrast to Richard's style, he's a 4-step to the back of the approach, but watch his footwork. The steps are very uniform, almost all the steps the same length. And then he goes into the slide, and it's pointed out in the first match, he's very solid at the line.
Finishes the box with a 9, and we had a good look at John Wooten just a moment ago at his style. Let's take a look at Richard Coleman as he addresses the pins and approaches the line.
Does a lot of things right. Stays nice and square. Does a real good job of keeping his shoulders square. That particular frame, you really despise pushing the reset button. The head pin's still standing after 3 balls. That's 4 balls. That's very uncharacteristic of Richard, and you get lined up here in a minute. You get out of whack every once in a while, and you get away from your checkoff list and you start fishing, and it takes a little while.
12-pin lead for John Wooten. Oh, that was a tough break there.
He did exactly what he wanted to do, put the ball between the 1-3, but throws a strong, heavy type ball, and it just put it through.
Grabs the 10. And John Wooten will step up on lane number 6 at Long Meadow Bowl. Been quite a weekend event here in Hagerstown. 273 some odd men and women bowlers showed up after qualifying in their local centers all over the East Coast. 6 different states. The field down to 10 men, 10 women. Cindy Carroll won the women's event, which you saw a couple of weeks ago. And here's John Wooten to put his ballot in for the top spot.
Number 1 pin remaining, Mike. A good practice ball for John. If he can throw a good ball, hit the... Well, there's no sense finishing that.
But it is good practice for the next ball that you got to throw at all 10 pins.
Well, except it worked just the opposite. He missed it, so now he's going over Bowie's next frame, and he's still fishing. So it's both bowlers having a little bit of trouble here. It's sort of getting on track, and you know, you're looking at 2 good average bowlers, 142, 133, and they're just making mistakes that they're not really used to making. That helped things out. Number 4 remaining.
9-pin lead for John Wooten with an opportunity to put a mark up on the board here of the 6th frame.
It's pretty important he hits this. I don't believe Richard's going to be laying back too much longer. That'll add a little
one, yeah.
Get the adrenaline flowing. He should be ready to jump up on the lane. Give you an opportunity to make something happen when your opponent just lets the opportunity slide by.
So Richard Coleman's turn to step up on lane 6. Nice ball. Good results. Let's see if he can grab the mark here. He picked off 1 of 2 in the spare opportunity last frame.
He overshot it, and there you go to 4-7. Put him in the pit spare, frame 6, 85-94.
That should tighten things up.
9 count. Right here we have a tie match.
Yep, Mike Arena standing by. Tie match. Richard looks like he's put a little bit more zip on the ball here, trying to get something going. May have become too complacent in the last couple of frames of the last match and
just carried over.
Yep.
Well, what happens is you start thinking, what did I do? And you become a little tentative, start aiming the ball, guiding the ball, and things just don't happen. And I think he just sort of threw that game plan away and said, let's jump up and bowl.
We start all over again after 6 frames, and Richard Coleman has put a mark up on the board in the 7th. Here's John Wooten. Leaves the 5-10. Try to play it outside to the left to slide the 5 into the 10. Missed it, and we'll come back and try to pick up at least 1 pin here. He's had trouble picking up the pins in the middle of the floor. 104, 102, and Richard Coleman has the mark in the 7th that he'll be adding on to. So he has the advantage in the match now.
Big frame for John. He's falling behind. He can be as much as 10, 12 pins behind. 3 frames remaining. Got to make something happen. Hold that one.
Looks like he might try to put a little extra on it and hold it left. After a little timeout, house cleaning there, John Wooten ready to go again.
3, 6, 7 remaining. 3rd ball. Frame 8. Made a trip around the world, didn't hit a thing.
Yep. Richard Coleman steps in, and you get the feeling that Richard's trying to put to some distance between himself and Mr. Wooten.
Richard has that little gleam in his eye like he's ready to take charge. Let's see what happens here.
Strike.
The gleam's getting bigger.
Pretty ball by Richard Coleman.
He threw a strike, went over on the next lane and picked up another ball. He doesn't wait.
No, it's not. I think he feels like he's got things going here, and on the 9th frame, he lets it roll. Liked it. Didn't get the results.
Well, he heard it. It kind of dribbled it a little bit, hit behind the line.
For Richard Coleman after 8 frames. What's that? Here's John Wooten. Break 7.
Is a must.
Mike Arena and Paul Ayres waiting for the winners of the next 2 respective matches to determine who's going to bowl them in this Coors Light Finals. John gets that one.
Tell you what, if he could strike and spare here, he'd finish with 152. Could force Richard to mark. Okay. Had a little error in the score, Mike. You didn't make a mistake. We just read an improper score.
Okay.
We're in a tough area to view it from. We have the monitor, but our scorekeeper, he's trying to look around the pole.
Wow.
Whew. Number 8 remaining.
Must be glued down because everything else left in a hurry.
Big change taking place here in a big hurry, too. Must hit this. Must hit it.
It's a tough one to miss. Going by on the right side. Needed the mark.
Yeah, this would give him 141, and Richard already has 141. 141, 140, plus a frame, so...
Richard Coleman will go on to face Mike Arena, the number 5 seed in our next match.
That's a Rhode Island representative from Bowling Academy. They made a good showing in the ladies.
Yep, very nice. Just get the sense that Richard is just starting to feel his oats here a little bit, knowing what he can do out there.
Becoming very comfortable, isn't he? Confident, comfortable. Bring on the next opponent.
Makes that look easy for a spare in the 10th frame. And now he'll have one more ball left, having already won this match. And John Wooten will have to pack up his bags and his balls, and he's on his way home. 158, 140. Richard Coleman wins it, and we'll be back with our second match right after this.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to, well, to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Looking for something fun to do? How about bowling? Bowl at Thunderhead Bowl for the best in duck pin and 10-pin bowling at 2 locations, both Westminster and Tawnytown. You can enjoy the league opportunities, which are always available for all ages at Thunderhead Bowl. And both locations are open 7 days a week with a snack bar and restaurant specials to ease the hunger as you have fun. The Pro Shop has a complete line of bowling equipment and accessories designed to improve your game. If you'd like information on open bowling, adult and youth leagues, contact Thunderhead Bowl, the family fun place.
Bill Parcells, Mike Francesa. Parcells and Francesa every week in depth around the NFL.
Post time, weekdays at 11:30 a.m., weekends at 9 a.m.
Mike Arena taking on Richard Coleman here in our second match today, Duckpin Magic. Mike is a bowler who is going to get what for handicap 30 pins. Richard Coleman's getting his 22, so Mike gets 8+. He is from Brockton, Massachusetts. Nice shot. Good comeback. Home of Marvin Hagler and Rocky Marciano. And he just threw a knockout punch there. Huh? Bowls at the Bowling Academy in Rhode Island. Richard rips through on the 2. Knocks the 2 and 8 out of there. Richard's won himself 2 games in a row. And he does the same thing. How about that? Comes right back with a spare. So both bowlers giving us a quick start here in the second match. I sort of like the way Mike Arena has put down what he would do with the first place prize of $3,000.
Spend, spend, spend.
Man, a few words.
The economy would like that, wouldn't he?
Drops 9, does Richard Coleman. And puts back-to-back marks up on the board. Mike Arena. 218 high game, 483 high. How about that? Not shy, going right after the pins.
4 frames, 4 marks, 2 apiece. Richard started out with 2 marks. He's 9 pins down, 8 pins down due to the handicap. He was spare 9, spare, and then 9 pins down.
How about another one? No. Leave the 6 pin. Picks up the mark. Now that's a quick start, one of the quickest we've had in the tournament. 3 straight marks to open the match, and now here's Richard Coleman, who can also record 3 marks to start the match.
Strong ball, number 7.
Oftentimes that happens, doesn't it? Your opponent gets off to that quick start, sort of gets you a little bit more into the game, gives you a wake-up call, if you will, or as you say, Joe, gets their attention. Sometimes that helps.
So often we've watched them start, you know, like this, and then on the other hand, we've seen them start with 3 or 4 open frames apiece. It's sort of like you bowl your opponent, you know, and it just affects you. Now he has the opportunity here to go a mark ahead. Both bowlers with 3 marks. Mike spare, strike, spare. Richard 3 spares.
Oh, tough time for that one.
Oh, there's the brick wall. What a stopper. Just a very emotionally draining shot, especially on a mark. You're just going along great. Throw a good ball, 3 good balls. He hit everything he shot at, 2, 4, 6. I mean, that's nothing you can do about it. Sit down, try to forget it, get yourself ready.
Basically what I was going to say is that it's technically not a bad shot when you push through the middle like that or rip the middle. It's very close either way, just you were a little too accurate and hit the head pin directly on.
Half inch either way and you're in good shape.
One more! Boy, what a quick start for Mike Arena, huh? Spare, strike, spare, strike. And we enter the 5th frame. Mike's been bowling duck pins for some 10 years now. Was the Rhode Island Class B champ. There's 9.
It could have been his 4th strike in a row. He left the 6-pin twice and had a pin right in the area both times. Of course, he'll be shooting at this for his 4th mark in a row. And opening up a considerable lead, and the only thing that Richard Coleman has done wrong is chop.
Mike uses a 5-inch ball, but it only weighs 3 pounds, 10.5 ounces.
It looks like it weighs 4 pounds, 10.5, the way it's moving pins around right now, Mike.
5 marks in a row for Mike Arena, and here comes Richard Coleman stepping in the 5th, needing to put a mark of his own on the board. How about that?
Seeing quite a display here, Mike. The only thing keeping it from being 10 marks is the 1-5 that Richard knocked out in the 4th frame. And that cost him 32 pins behind. Amazing. He has the opportunity to double. That would help forget the 1-5 chop.
Those of you just joining us, one figure to remember, 246 is Richard's high game, 553, so he certainly can string some marks together and get back into this game. Richard trying to pick up the mark here.
Well done.
Well, both bowlers starting to put a significant number of marks up on the board. Here's Mike Arena. He's been perfect through 5 as far as marks are concerned.
Only 1 open frame on the board, Mike.
And still only 1 open frame on the board. Well, seems like he likes the right side a little bit better than the left side as far as the strikes are concerned, right?
Just 1 pin better a frame.
Let's see if he can change that here. Looking for his first double in the match in the 7th. Ooh.
Little pull on that, just sort of sent the head pin went around the basket on the right side. Left the 3, 5, 6, and 9 with the 7.
Whoa.
Yeah, there's the 6 pin. He somewhere or another leaves that pin on that lane. Just took 2 balls this time. Got a big score coming, Mike. 159 if he hits this in the 7th frame. Richard has his work cut out.
That was Mike's brother. We got a shot up there, taking the score down, trying to follow along, see what the status of the match is. And Richard Coleman will step in working on a mark. How about that?
It's been a nice game to watch, Mike. 128 plus to 159, and another opportunity for a double. So Richard glanced at the score.
Certainly going to speed things up here, get the adrenaline going for both bowlers.
He waited for that ball to come back that time, Mike.
Yeah. Well, he knows a double here really turns things around.
They say make the folks as good as the people.
Oh, tough break. Deserved much better than that.
Did his part. Put it where it needed to be. Just thin action went in the wrong direction, and he left the 9-10. It almost has to go for this shot at this point in the game, and he...
Oh. Nice try.
He didn't lay back, did he? He went after it.
Counts 9 on the strike.
22 pins down, Mike. Still playing.
Gets the 10. 147 after 8 frames. And now Mike Arena will step in. Left to deal with following up his first open frame of the match. Oh. First time he hasn't struck on this side of the lanes. Seen that happen a lot, though. After somebody strings together a long number of marks in whatever fashion, they get that first open frame. It seems to provide a little distraction, almost breaks that string of concentration. So he'll move over on lane 5. Yeah, he gets it right back. I think there's an old axiom, isn't there?
Miss a single, throw a strike. He's to switch lanes, right? He wasn't used to shooting singles on lane 6.
Now Richard Coleman now. Open in the 8th.
Work cut out. Lit up on that road. It sailed left on him. 1-3 and a 4-7. Definitely in a must situation, Mike. He could make this to a triple shoot 197. Of course, that's with his handicap, and is still in not good shape.
No. Not this time.
Just about over, Mike. 87. It's, for all intent and purposes, Richard Coleman is going to be defeated.
He'll move over and bowl in the 10th frame here.
Looks like our next match will have Michael Arena, Paul Ayers, Fairlane's Joppa. Paul, 128 average bowler with a handicap of 33. 3 pins difference between he and Mike.
Richard trying to finish up here. Drops 9. Richard did okay for himself. Will take home a check for $300 for his efforts in the Duckpin Classic.
Good tournament for him.
.166 will be his final score, and now we'll wait for Mike Arena to finish up. Mike has one of the highest totals that we've recorded so far in this Coors Light Classic. Well, you're going to get that. That's the time to have it.
Right
doesn't
where
mean
you
too
want
much.
it.
Right?
Well, we're in that situation to get look out where we have The winner of this next match will have the opportunity to go on to the final week.
That's it, 197-166. Mike Arena moves on. He'll take on Paul Ayers. We'll have all of that action for you coming up right after this.
Can't get enough of that exciting HTS football package? Fans of college football get a behind-the-scenes look from their favorite coaches this fall, including game highlights, strategies, and special guests when HTS presents 17 different coaches shows. Tune in Tuesday through Saturday for college football variety on HTS.
If you're not watching HTS, you don't know what you're missing.
As a parent, I appreciate the importance of education, but I also appreciate the value of teaching our children good fitness habits. With all that proven benefit of regular exercise, you can see why physical education is so important to their future. Our children need healthy hearts to grow into healthy adults. So let's be sure that they grow up smart and fit. And if you're still not convinced, I'll be back.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Mike Arena and Paul Ayers in our final match of the day here on Duckpin Magic. The winner here, and the importance and the significance of the winning bowler is the fact that they advance to next week's show and become one of the final four. Let's tell you a little bit about Paul Ayers. Bowls out of Fairlanes, Joppa. 185 high game, 488 high series. He's been bowling duckpins for about 8 years. Nice shot there to pick up the mark.
Full-time student, Towson State University, Towson, Maryland, down in Baltimore, outside of Baltimore City.
Right, this Mike Arena, he has been punishing the pocket.
A lot of balls in the right place. In a good groove. An unusual style, sort of takes the ball away outside and brings it back in, but can find no fault with it today.
Picked it.
Back pin on a two-pinner. Makes me mad enough to bite my tongue.
Winner of this match will advance to next week's show, and in the very first match will take on Jim McDowell of Stratford, Connecticut. Also, Mike Moreland awaiting the winner, and then Hoss Bird sitting on top as the #1 seed. Oh, no luck there. Leaves the 9-10. Handicaps similar here. Arena with a 30-pin add-on. Paul Ayers 33.
Working on a spare, frame 1.
There you go. Got a strike. Fills it up. Wastes little or no time.
Similar to Mike's start last game. Then the stopper. 2, 3, 10.
Well, Paul says that he wins the first prize. He'll be paying some bills, pay for school, and get a haircut. Those are his words, not mine.
He get a lot of haircuts if he wins this thing. Pay a lot of bills.
Yeah.
They won't pay for much school.
Let's give him a plug. He's a full-time student over at Towson State. Also working his way through college. Mike Arena will step in now. Mike pushes through the middle. Nobody started out faster than Mike Arena did in the last match, but since about the 6th or 7th frame of the last match, he's cooled off just a bit. 80-58. Paul Ayers leading it by 22 pins. Here's a strike. First mark of this match for Mike Arena, and Paul Ayers will step back in. Previous best finish in a tournament was 5th in an ADT tournament. Watch out.
Deserved it. Strong ball. 90-68 strikes in the 4th frame for both bowlers. Waste no time.
No. And that's why.
Waste much time getting ready or bowl.
That's right.
Another match going, Mike. 100 plus a double up in the 4th for Paul. Mike working on a strike and could use another one.
Oh, look out. 7-pin dodged a bullet there and stays standing.
Pin was working and hunting, but it just didn't catch it.
Second spare opportunity Mike has let go by. Grabs the 10.
This match and 3 more next week, Mike. All that's left of the Coors Light $25,000 Duckpin Classic.
Do you think that that double was playing on Mike's mind a bit? He got up through the strike. Paul gets up, throws 2 quick strikes, and he knows he's got to convert the single to keep pace.
Well, I think he had 2 things working against him. One, very well could have been a double. And I think when you go back to get the ball, it's working on you. You know that you had the opportunity for a double, and you're really just not mindset to shoot the single. You wanted the double so bad, and it's such a letdown that you just can't get yourself back into the right frame of mind to shoot it. Before you know it, you're at the foul line and just not concentrating.
Well, let's see what happens here as Paul Ayers steps in. How about a triple?
How about we got a big one going? 33 handicap, but he's going spare strike. 9 frame and a triple, and he's ready again. Don't turn your head, Mike. You'll miss another one. Looking for 4 in a row.
He's got it. And that deserves another look, I think, as Paul Ayers, the last 4 balls he's thrown, this is the result.
All different, but all where the ball needs. He's got a big pocket right now. Should be free and easy, and maybe do 3 or 4 more. We can have a little fun. You know one thing, it can take the wind out of the sails of an opponent.
That's for sure, yeah. If you're Mike Arena, you're saying, what do I have to do? Not only am I having a tough break, now I've got to beat him back, too. He's on his way.
I tell you, Paul is bowling. I think he was Richard Coleman's friend, and you upset my friend with all those strikes and spares. Strikes in 7 frames for Paul Ayers.
As we mentioned, the winner going on to next week's show, spare for Mike Arena. Well, let's see. Right now, all attention is turned to Paul Ayers and his string of 4 strikes in a row.
Tell you what, he's going to be very close, depending on this ball. A mark there or another strike, and we'd have been working on 200. We're going to make 200 with the handicap. I mean, it's not even a question.
We might have made a scratch 200.
Well, we still got a shot. He's got 2 frames left. He's going to need 2 marks. Remember, he's got 33 pins handicap, so he got to shoot 233 to get the 200.
233 or more. So right now he stands at 196 to 116 plus for Mike Arena.
210s give him 216, so he needs 17 pins more, which takes at least 2 marks to get 17 more. So let's see. Root for a 200 game here, Mike. 2 tough breaks.
Yeah.
Put the pin. Wait, reach out and touch that.
There you go.
It's like the guy bowling good gets all the luck. Hey, Mike has a decent game. It's just being overshadowed.
Well, there's one of the marks. Now, Paul could set Duckpin Magic history, record the first actual 200 game. That's why we make such a big deal out of it. A lot of 200 games scored around in the Duckpin game, but we've never had the fortune of having one on the TV show.
Scratch, right. I think we've gone by a couple times with the handicap.
Right.
But here we have a situation, and Paul needs a mark. Tough game for Mike. Of course, he would have had to have a super game to stay with Paul in this particular situation.
Well, let's put it this way. Even if he had the same kind of game as he had last time, he'd still be losing it.
Yeah. Sure would.
Just ran into a real hot Paul Ayers, and that's all there is to it.
Mike shot 197 with his handicap without the benefit of a doubleheader even, though, Mike. He went, you know, spare strike. He just kept stringing them.
Well, Mike will go home with $500. That's not too bad for this weekend's work. Take it back up there to Brockton, Mass.
Not a bad trip.
shaking his head a little bit. He knows that he really didn't have too much control over his destiny here in this match.
Not really. Sort of took his game away from him. I tell you, we represented two areas at one time here. We had the Massachusetts and the Rhode Island area, as he lives in Brockton, Mass, and bowls out of Rhode Island.
Well, the only mystery in this match now is to see whether or not Paul Ayers can throw a 200 scratch game for us on television.
Be a strike.
Yeah.
He's got to make it. Would be nice. 200 game in the Coors Light $25,000 Duckpin Classic. One of our...
That had a shot, too.
We're close again, Mike. We just can't bring them home.
Beautiful game by Paul Ayers.
8 pins short.
Yep. 222, 140. That's the final as Paul Ayers advances to next week's Final Four show. We'll be back to wrap things up right after this.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Jack, you look great. New clubs, new shoes, new ball.
Well, it's the new me, Bill.
New golf game, too?
We'll see.
It's showtime.
Showtime.
Hey! Whoa!
Maybe a 2-iron, Bill?
Yeah, a 2-iron. I just don't get it.
Well, it's showtime, Bill. And it's not the shoes, it's not the clubs, it's not the ball. It's this latest video from Golf Digest. How to get distance and accuracy.
A video?
Yeah, anyone can get it. And it's free when you subscribe to Golf Digest.
Huh.
Outdrive your partner with this half-hour instructional video. Free with a 1-year subscription to Golf Digest. Just $19.77. Call 800-248-4422. Imagine the video and Golf Digest. Call 800-248-4422.
It's exciting, it's entertaining, it's challenging, it's fun. It's Duckpin Magic. Duckpin bowling is lots of fun for the whole family. There's no need to be an expert. Duckpin bowling is easy to learn, but it's the challenge that'll keep you coming back. Even little hands can control the ball in duckpin bowling. Join a league or we'll help you start one. And with duckpin bowling, there's more bowling for your buck. Discover duckpin bowling and you'll discover Duckpin Magic at any of these locations.
Hello, we'd like to clear up some misconceptions about duckpin bowling at Fairlanes. This is a duck. This is a duck pin. Note the absence of webbed feet. This is a flock of ducks. This is a flock of duck pins. The object of duck pins is to hurl 3 balls, bang, 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 and knock them all down. Exhilarating. The object of ducks is to be ducks. Now you may proceed to Fairlanes. We're quite sure you'll find duck pinning everything it's quacked up to be. Sorry.
Thanks very much for joining us here at the Long Meadow Bowl in Hagerstown, Maryland. We're down to the Final Four in the Coors Light Duckpin Classic Championships on the men's division. We'll have the Final Four give away over $6,000 in prize money, and we hope you join us next week on Duckpin Magic. For Joe Rainier, I'm Mike Sillis. See you again next time.